Well, hello there and welcome to the channel, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about the five mistakes to avoid when planting bamboo in your garden here in the UK. And there is a bit of an elephant in the room, and that elephant is called Philostachys aurea, the golden bamboo, because there's been some big problems with that, and we're going to discuss that as we go through this video. Anyway, let's get started. There's a lot to talk about. Flipping elephants. Now, as usual, mistake number one is make sure you buy the right plant. Now, if you go down to your local garden centre, you'll probably find they will have a range of one species of bamboo, which is your Philostachys aurea, pretty much everywhere. If you're lucky, you might have two. You might get a black bamboo like this fellow here. But there is a problem with the Philostachys aurea. It runs, it's got a big root system, it's vigorous, and those roots will travel across your garden, into your house, next door, and cause big problems. If you haven't got a concrete base that your property's been built of, you're going to start seeing little bamboos coming through your floorboards and pushing your carpet up. It is invasive, and in my opinion, this is a plant that should probably be banned. You know, it really is that shocking. I mean, trying to get it out once you've got it is an absolute pain, because you can kill it, but then you still got that root system that needs to come out because it's a thick mat, very, very strong. You can't really do much with the land unless you've got that removed, so it's very difficult. So, first of all, Philostachys aureus, that's the one you find everywhere. My advice is not to buy that one, but there are two ways you can buy it, but to be honest with you, I'd avoid it. I'd plant the black bamboo instead, or a bamboo likey plant like the Arundo Donax, nice variegated or some other stuff like the Borindas, you know. But really, you would be better off doing a bit of research, choosing exactly the one you want. Discount for the Philostachys aurea. Yes, I know it's vigorous, and some people like to plant them as hedges, but just don't buy it. Now, I told you not to buy it, and you bought it anyway, so what'd you do? Okay, there's two things you can do. Grow your bamboo in a large pot, because it's the only way you're going to stop the roots from getting into the ground. You know, a large pot on a concrete base. Stop your roots from getting into the ground and causing havoc. That does cause its own problems regarding watering, because they do like to be kept quite moist. If they dry out, they'll drop their leaves. But if you definitely want it in the ground, you're going to have to put down an impenetrable barrier. And you probably want to build maybe concrete. If you just use slabs, line it with slabs, you're going to get through the cracks. Some people use butyl liners, but again, they can pierce through those. So pots or an impenetrable barrier. The mistake is to put it directly into the ground. And if you do put it in the ground because you've got more space than you require, keep it well away from any property. I'm talking 50, 100 meters away. It's not all bad news, I promise. So maybe you went for the right decision and bought the black bamboo, assuming it is for sale. It is a more expensive plant, but believe me, it's going to save you so many headaches. This plant is clump forming to a point, so let me show you. Okay, you can see the base of the plant. Now, this has been in the ground for a couple of years, and you've got most of the stems around where the original root ball was, and then just coming out of it about a foot, you've still got some new stems coming out. So the rhizomes, they will run to a certain extent, but on the whole, they will tend to remain in the area of the original root ball. But if you start heavily feeding, giving it masses of water, then it will start to run. You know, so be very aware of that. You might be tempted to get, you want to get a big stand of bamboo, and then watering and feeding is going to be the way to do. But if you don't want it to run, don't do it. But to be fair, if you've planted it in a space that will accommodate it, then why not? It's down to you. But if it becomes a problem, then lay off the water, lay off the fertilizer. It will slow down its growth, but at least it's more controllable. And it generally, of the two, this is my favourite, and I don't mind buying this. Plus, black stems, so much nicer than golden stems, because are they gold or are they off yellow? Now, the third mistake is to do with watering. Now, a lot of these Philostachys species, they're grown in these vast nurseries in Italy, and they're shipped over and end up in wholesalers in the UK. Now, both in Italy and in the UK, you'll find these all we put onto drip irrigation, because They're almost always root bound in the pot, which means they really don't hold on to any water if you're just watering it by hand. And that's a problem, because as soon as they come off the nurseries and go to the garden centre, most garden centres, they're not on drip irrigation. If you buy it from your local supermarket, because they'll be selling them too, they're not on drip irrigation and probably won't be watered at all. And these bamboo varieties, these are big leafy plants, and you know, they get any kind of a breeze on them and they're going to be using up water, especially on hot sunny days. So if you get it in a pot and you leave it in a pot, it's going to dry out. So you need to be aware of that. You could be watering it once or twice a day. And then there's a second problem. If you think, I know what I'll do, I'll put it in a saucer and then there'll be more water available for the plant. Well, bamboos don't like to be kept waterlogged, so it's another problem. So if they get waterlogged, they'll deteriorate. If they dry out, they deteriorate. They're always going to do best in the ground. And I know a lot of people want to grow them in the pots because of the issue with the roots running off and causing havoc. So it's a slight problem there. It's a slight problem. What do you do? Goes back to buying the right bamboo. So, but that's the issue with watering. There are mistakes to be made and mistakes to be avoided. At best, drip irrigation. You know, it's going to be an expense if you haven't got it already, but it's the best way to keep a bamboo in the pot. It's not an easy one, bamboos, are they? They don't make it easy for you to like them. Now, mistake number 4 is to not give your plant enough space, and I don't just mean in regards to its clump forming skills. I mean, it also gets very, very tall. Some of these bamboos get to 4 meters, sometimes taller. I mean, you've seen the pictures on these natural history programs where they're in China and they look 5, 6, 7 meters tall. Absolutely wonderful. I mean, I do love bamboo as long as they're in the right place. So you got to make sure that wherever you're planting them, they can accommodate the size, they can accommodate the height, and of course, as we've said before, especially with the golden bamboo, they can accommodate the breadth that these things are likely to grow. If you consider, you're probably going to be looking at any kind of bed between 5 and 10 meters in circumference if you want to try and grow decent standard bamboo, because you might think it's in a 10-litre pot, it'll go in the ground, it'll fit between these 3 plants in your garden. But the reality is, these are big growing plants that will travel. So space is important, as well as being considerate to your neighbours, who are not going to want a 4-metre tall monster on their boundary blocking it all the sun, or having running roots that extend to the kitchen. So you've got some bamboo shoots growing through the floor. Bamboo shoots are okay, but only if they're in a tin and culinary. Now, the 5th mistake that you want to avoid is regarding what on earth are you going to do if you've got a bamboo in the ground and you want to try and get it out. First of all, you need to kill off the root system, and there's a couple of ways you can do that. Firstly, you can try applying glyphosate to the foliage, and hopefully that will get into the system and kill it, but even commercial grade glyphosate is going to struggle because it's such a vigorous root system. So what you want to do is really sterilize the soil. Now you can use something like SBK, Shakira, you know, several litres of Coca-Cola. I mean, anything that will really just kill off, make the root system unsustainable. And at least the whole plant will actually be dead and won't continue growing. Because if you are lucky enough that you actually dig it out, you don't want to be leaving any bits of root still in there, because it will just start growing again. So once you've killed it, digging it out is going to be hard work in most cases. If it's established a big clump, it's going to be difficult. So you might better do it with a spade. You might need to get a pickaxe out, but in a lot of cases you might need to hire yourself a little mini digger. You know, it's a difficult problem. So again, to avoid it, don't plant it there in the first place. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you've got anything to add to that, you are more than welcome to, because the more information people have on growing bamboos, the better. So thank you for watching, and before I go, I have a message just for you from me in the past. Right now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description, you can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.